Good morning, and good afternoon, and good evening to many of you from around the world. Thank you very much for joining us for another BlockSafe Ambassador launch webinar for what's today, June 19th, 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm super excited today to bring to you the fact that many of you that have already bought BSafe token packages, guess what? Thank you for obviously putting your trust and faith in us to guard all cryptocurrency wallets in 2019. And beyond, all crypto and Forex exchanges, all private public blockchains in the future, guys, because of people like you, this is why we're doing a 25% bonus, because we love and appreciate everything you do for us on a daily basis, guys. Super exciting news today. We'll go over more of the bonus today. Obviously, also what I want to discuss with many of you today, because we've been getting this question a lot ever since we announced the bonus, is they're like, hey, what is considered an accredited investor in the United States? So what I did was I put a document together for many of you that are obviously have high net worth individuals. Many of you have accredited investors in your teams around the world, but especially in the United States domestically. This applies more for the domestic investors, because literally this morning, as soon as we announced the bonus, boom, we got inundated with emails, messages, phone calls, etc. Because everybody wants, who doesn't like a 25% bonus on their investment, right? Especially when it's a security token offering and it provides a lot more stability and infrastructure for people's money around the world. So that being said, guys, obviously we have a few people that are coming in a little bit later. They just messaged me, so we'll give them about 30 more seconds. We hope that everybody's having a wonderful day. We hope everybody had a fantastic Father's Day weekend. For those of you that are fathers, thank you very much for raising your children the proper way, nice and educated and entrepreneurial, right? Teaching them to go out and get what is theirs, not to get that 9-to-5 mentality and have a check for the rest of your life. So many of you that reached out to us over the Father's Day weekend, thank you very much. I myself am not a father, unless you count fur babies. I work a lot with animal rescues, military rescues, but many of you that do have kids, guys, you're a shining light, because it is tough. I mean, it's tough to have a puppy, but it's 1,000 times tougher to have a baby. So guys, a lot of respect for many of you that are on the webinar that had a phenomenal Father's Day weekend. Let me see who's on board right now. So guys, thank you very much. We've got Alfonso, we got Miss Annette, we got Anthony, Mr. AKA UVS, Frank the Tank's on here, Major, what's up, Major? Michael, Susan, Dean, Andy, Wendy. Guys, thank you very much for joining us today. Obviously your time is very precious to us. Annette said that fur babies count. So at the end of the day, because I do deal with a lot of fur babies, I guess I did have a good Father's Day weekend myself. So guys, today is going to be kind of special, because this document that you're seeing right here, we're going to discuss more about, I'm going to put this document in the Google Drive, also in the Ambassador Google Drive, because I want everybody to be able to use this for their own. You can actually give this out as, and as you can tell, look at this, I still need to, hold on, let me move forward. As you can tell, I put this document together for you so that you can use this with your people. But hold on, let me just do this. And what I'll do is I'm going to put this into a PDF form, and you can use this. You can actually give this out to your people around the world, because at the end of the day, knowledge is power, right? So the beautiful thing about things like these documents, I mean, this basically is a guide that you can give away. Maybe in many of you that have funnels, right? Many of you that are doing email marketing or text marketing, SMS or MMS with messaging, you can put this as a document that you can send to people around the world. So that being said, let's look at the market for today first before we do anything, because many of you are asking, what's going on with Bitcoin? Many people that obviously are on this webinar are speculators. That's why you're super excited about BlockSafe, because at the end of the day, you understand that nobody's going to be able to keylog you to get entry into your Binance accounts, OKX, Poloniex, Bittrex, Lightbit, etc. IDEX. So the beautiful thing about digital currency, guys, is it's exploding around the world. And if you think about where we've come from where we've been, oh, hold on, Major says he can't see the screen. So let me make sure that everybody can see the screen before we get started. Okay. Major, let me know when you should be able to see coin market cap as soon as I hit that button. Let me see. Let me make sure, well, first, now that we have some more people on here, let me make sure that everybody can hear my voice and see the screen before we get started, before we get on this rocket ship. Okay, Annette says yes, she can hear me, see my screen. Major, can you see the screen? I can see and hear Anthony Parsons. Let me just make sure that Major can see the screen. Susan, Wendy, Michael, everybody good? Everybody can hear me and see the screen? I see now, but did not see the form. Oh yeah, I'll here, let me just click on the form so you can see it, Major. So that's going to be the form right there. But let's go over the coin market cap universe for everybody first, because we got some excited crypto speculators in the room. All right, now that I know everybody can hear and see my screen, guys, today has been a beautiful day in cryptocurrency. Obviously, our market cap keeps swelling, getting close to $300 billion in market cap. Obviously, as you see the amount of cryptocurrencies around the world that are being bought and sold on a daily basis, we have 2,257 digital currencies being bought and sold on 18,930 markets around the world. What does that mean for us at BlockSafe? That means that we get to protect every single cryptocurrency wallet, every single exchange that gives us the capability to show them our patented technology and make sure we can mitigate those risks like Cryptopia, right? Cryptopia got hacked, they had to liquidate, right? Binance got hacked for 40 million. And the good thing about Binance is they're very well capitalized, or else they could have been a story similar to what happened to Cryptopia. The market cap, again, is at $286 billion today, ever so creeping closer to that $300 billion mark. And guys, one day we'll be at $1 trillion, 5, 10, 20, but we are still in our infancy as far as digital currency. Our 24-hour volume is 48.5 billion, and the BTC dominance, as you can tell right now, everybody is talking about Bitcoin, right? 56.7% dominance in the marketplace right now. Yeah, Frank, we're recording this, that way you can use this with your teams. Good question. So that being said, let's just go over the top 10, because what I like to do is give you a little more information on what's happening in the marketplace so that you can get excited, because every day, guess what? More and more people are opening up more crypto wallets, Forex wallets. More and more people are jumping on exchanges. So that's going to allow you to create a very, very good residual income offering all our patented projects around the world, or patented products around the world. So now when we talk about Bitcoin, the granddaddy that got all this started, guys, in 2008, we read a white paper and it talked about solving the double spend problem, which before, cryptocurrencies had been around since the 80s, but they could never solve the double spend problem, right? The Byzantine problem. So Bitcoin, when it first came on the scene, was basically a novelty, right? It's not like you could use it to pay for pizza or beer or movie tickets or anything, right? And nowadays, what are you starting to see? Massive adoption. Things like BitPay cards. Coinbase is coming out with a Bitcoin debit card, and so now you're actually starting to see people use it as a form of payment. But in reality, Bitcoin is more of a store of value. What I tell people all the time is, if you want to buy a candy bar, use Litecoin, right? Because it's super fast, super cheap to use. If you want to buy a battleship, use Bitcoin because it's a store of value. But the market cap for Bitcoin right now is $162 billion. The price per BTC token right now is $9,130, and it's up 0.47%, guys. Now, remember, Bitcoin, if it weren't for Bitcoin, many of us wouldn't be here, right? Because this is what got the whole party started. Now, at number 2, you got Ethereum. Vitalik Buterin did a phenomenal job coming up with a smart contract protocol that's going to revolutionize the way we use, legal documents in the future. Because if you think about it, a smart contract, you don't have to. It's a trustless system, right? At the end of the day, you're going to have people using smart contracts for legal issues that a lot of people are running into around the world, cross-border jurisdictions, etc. But because of these smart contracts and Oracle systems, guys, you're going to see so many different verticals use Ethereum's blockchain and many other blockchains that are using smart contracts to do commerce around the world. 28.5 billion up to 267.77 cents per Ethereum token. Now Ripple is up to 43 cents. Their market cap's at $18.3 billion. And as you know, guys, Ripple is more of a centralized protocol helping banks with remittance and payment services. Remittance, sending money around the world, when I say remittance, is a multi-billion-dollar a year industry, if not close to trillions of dollars a year, because at the end of the day, so many people send money back home to loved ones. They work in different countries, but they got to send money back home, right? So Ripple is kind of exciting for the non-purist. because at the end of the day, they understand that they're going to be saving money when they send value. With the XRP token and the payment rails that are being set up all over the world. They just announced a partnership with MoneyGram, so it's very interesting to see how that's going to play out. My boy Charlie Lee at number 4 with his Litecoin protocol. I love Litecoin. I've been a big proponent of Litecoin since it first came out. Any webinars that you see from me, 2015, 2016, 2017, I'm always talking about Litecoin. Obviously, I see the value in being able to have fast transactions, fast settlement times on blockchains. But at $8.6 billion in market cap and $139.01 per LTC token, guys, it's literally Litecoin is gonna, in the future, we call it the silver to Bitcoin's gold, right? Because at the end of the day, Bitcoin is a granddaddy, but Litecoin is going to be around for a long time because they have a phenomenal team backing them. Charlie Lee is very intelligent, met him at many events, many crypto events around the world, and his team is absolutely crushing it right now. Now, number 5, we have Roger Ver and his Bitcoin Cash protocol, $7.3 billion market cap, $412.73 per Bitcoin Cash token. EOS at number 6, $6.2 billion in market cap, $6.82. Guys, EOS is doing a phenomenal job. They actually raised over $4 billion over the past couple of years. And because of that, they have a very robust blockchain. They actually went into their mainnet already. They swapped their tokens out. They went from their ERC20 tokens to their native tokens, right? Non-native versus native, meaning they have their own mainnet, their own blockchain now. They're not on Ethereum's blockchain anymore. So we're going to see many great things from EOS, but one of the things that they have promised is obviously no fees on transactions. So we'll see kind of the roadmap for the future, but they're looking to do a lot of decentralized applications on their protocol. Binance Coin, obviously many of us that trade on Binance, they're at $4.9 billion in market cap. Guys, they've only been around a little over a year. They came out in 2017, but $35.36. What I tell people is Binance is one of the tokens that we use at events around the world. We tell people if you would have bought in on Binance really early and sold it in today's value, you're talking about 9,000% returns, guys. And in fact, instead of telling you, let me show you, right? Because you can click on any of these tokens and look at kind of their value, like you see with Binance token, BNB, that's their ticker symbol. That's what the price is per BNB token right now. But if I go down here, you can see their market cap, the rank, website announcement, everything, right? You got volume for the day, $489 million, circulating supply, total supply, but it's going to blow your mind when you see this, because I'd much rather show you than tell you, right? Look at the coin statistics. Binance coin, right? Right now the price 35.33. Binance coin ROI, return on investment, greater than 9,000%. Instead of me just telling you, I might as well show you, right? Because I'm not affiliated with coinmarketcap.com, but I do use it to obviously educate the masses around the world. This is why I tell people, at the end of the day, the beautiful thing about digital currency is timing. Many of us have timing. This has been out since 2017. Obviously, it's a protocol used to be able to pay for trading fees. So many exchanges are coming out with their own tokens. But the beauty in this, ladies and gentlemen, is look, you have timing over the rest of the world right now. You're getting into digital currency at the most perfect time. Now, obviously, you want to do your own due diligence, right? You never just want to put money into projects without, reading their white paper, looking at their documentation, legal documents, etc. Who's running the ship? Because there are a lot of companies out there that just aren't as strong as companies like Binance, like Litecoin, like BlockSafe, etc. So always do your due diligence. Obviously, ask proper questions, get proper documentation. But that right there, right, the proof's in the pudding, right? I just showed you documentation. Number 9, we got Tether. Tether obviously is pegged to the US dollar. We use that to trade on different exchanges around the world. 3.5 billion in market cap. Since it's tied to the dollar, it's normally about 99 cents to $1. Not too much fluctuation. And rounding up the top 10 for today, June 19, 2019, we got Stellar at 2.4 billion in market cap, 12.3 cents per XLM token. Now, Stellar, guys, we love Stellar. Many of you have seen me at events wearing the Stellar t-shirt because we code on top of their layer. They obviously have a protocol that allows for fast transaction times, right? And a lot of times, if let's say you're a merchant, you need transactional speed because you got a lot of people buying things with digital currency on a protocol if it's very slow, like Bitcoin. Bitcoin's not an actual transaction platform. It's a store of value platform. That's why I was talking about Litecoin and EOS, right? Because EOS is going to produce faster transactional times on their blockchain. So this is why Stellar right now, guys, depending on the infrastructure that you use, you can get between 6,000 to 9,000 transactions per second. And so it just depends. You know, some people see 4,500, some people see 6,000. Using AWS type infrastructure, you can see up to 9,000. We love it. So that being said, guys, that is your coin market cap roundup for today. Just want to give you kind of an understanding of what's going on around the world. And again, these are just the top 10 tokens, guys. What did I tell you at the very top? Right now, around the world, there's over 2,200 digital currencies being bought and sold. Now, the beautiful thing about BlockSafe, guys, is it's going to be our job, our duty to go out and protect the chain, right? Because at the end of the day, if nobody's protecting the chain, if nobody is protecting your digital currency, how are you going to feel at ease? Because at the end of the day, what's going to happen is many people are going to be keylogged, phished, hacked over the next couple of months, next couple of years, but it's not going to be you and it's not going to be your people, because at the end of the day, you have access to patented technology that's going to protect all crypto Forex wallets, all crypto or financial institutional type secondary exchanges, and all private public blockchains. I said that right, guys. You have access to all those patented products around the world. And guess what? If somebody wants to use our products, they have to come to our ambassadors. Because at the end of the day, you are the first line of defense to go out and educate the masses on why they should be using our products, right? Because they're not using our products and they get scammed. I mean, we did an event in Ireland one time, and a gentleman in the crowd said that he had 5,000 Ether that were stolen. And he used a very colorful word. He said, "Where the beep were y'all when I had my 5,000 Ethereum stolen from me? I could have used your protocol, right?" And he started, he actually started telling his friends about it. And many of them now are BlockSafe customers. Why? Because once you get hacked, phished, keylogged, whatever, it sticks with you, right? It's not if you're going to get hacked, it's how do you mitigate the hack. And this is why we feel very confident in being able to bring you a company that's going to protect many of these protocols around the world. But guess what, guys? We want you making the money, because at the end of the day, we're not spending millions of dollars to go out and hire the NBA final MVP, or we're not spending money on cricket or football players from Manchester United to go out and help us get market share. We want to give money to the hardworking entrepreneur, which is you. We want you to go out there and be our evangelist, to be able to make money for you and your family, doing something that you love, but also protecting people's value, right? So for many of you that have not signed up, because there are some new faces on the webinar today, if you have not signed up for our security token offering, you can go to blocksafetech.io, and right here where it says sign up and invest now, the STO token price right now is 50 cents per BSafe token. Now the STO it's live and it ends on June 22nd. Today is the 19th. But this is why we got super fired up about giving everybody a 25% bonus on all the packages. Whether you purchased a package up to this point, or you're going to purchase another package, or you're brand new and you're about to purchase your package, all of you are going to get 25% bonuses on your token packages for 2019, guys. So thank you very much once again for obviously sharing the information with a few people around the world that are passionate about protecting the chain, baby. But not just that, obviously changing your financial future, because look, what did I tell you at the very beginning? We are still in our infancy. We still haven't even hit $1 trillion in market cap. That should fire you up every single day, knowing that because of you, the world is going to know more about digital currency, cybersecurity, blockchain security, wallet security, and they have to come to people like you to get those products, right? So for anybody that has any questions, obviously you can go to our website, download our white paper, review it, look at our investor deck. But guys, you can't do anything unless you sign up and buy your BSafe token packages. If you have any questions, we obviously have a Telegram room. So if you got invited today by somebody that's an ambassador for BlockSafe, make sure that they put you in our Telegram room. We have 24-hour support. We've got admins that will guide you and answer your questions properly. So that being said, guys, the next thing I want to do, now that we've discussed that everybody that gets a BSafe token package is going to get a 25% bonus, I want to talk about accredited investors. Why? Because that question has been popping up almost on a daily basis. But today we're getting blown out of the water because we announced a 25% bonus, and people got super excited. So for people like Frank that are going to use this guide, I know Frank was asking about the recorded webinar, but also about the guide. Guys, I'm going to go through this guide so you can see what it's like, and you can see like today, I updated today, June 19th. So this is a free investor guide, and you can use this as a tool, guys. You can use this and share it with the masses, use it as a marketing tool. So what is an accredited investor versus a non-accredited investor? Approximately, it takes about 15 minutes. I'm going to try and keep this webinar to about 45 minutes so you can go out and tell the world that, obviously we're giving them 25% on their BSafe token packages over the next few days. But also for all those people that put some faith in our company, I want you to be able to give them the good news, right? Because they already put the money in. They also are going to benefit from the 25% bonus. So this document takes about 15 minutes to go through, guys, and it applies to more domestic United States investors. So the reason why you're here is obviously this is a learning center. What is an accredited investor versus non-accredited investor? Last update, the 19th of this month, investor tips, right, is the topic. Summary, in this training, you'll learn the answer to the question of what is an accredited investor, what an accredited investor is. We'll explain the difference between accredited versus non-accredited investors, how to become accredited, and the various investment opportunities for each. We will also identify types of investments like crowdfunding and real estate syndications available to both accredited and non-accredited investors. The reason why I want to talk a little bit about non-accredited investors is because, guys, we're always looking for opportunities for you to be able to participate in different projects around the world. But for American investors, we want to give you as much value and as much education as possible, because a lot of times, look, some people are on the cusp of being an accredited investor. So because of that, they don't get the same opportunities as those accredited investors and high net worth individuals. But because there are many projects around the world that we run into on a daily basis, we want to make sure we educate all our team members, all our ambassadors to the fullest extent. So here we go. Introduction. If you've looked into group investment syndications or crowdfunding, you're likely come across opportunities that require you to be accredited or sophisticated. But what does it mean to be accredited or sophisticated exactly? Do you qualify? Could you qualify? These are common questions for both new and experienced investors, which is why we are doing this training. In it, you will find answers to all of your most pressing questions about accreditation, plus information about the investment opportunities available for non-accredited investors. So I'm gonna have to format this because I have to put this up here. So remind me, I gotta format that. Okay. Obviously, we made this today because look at that. You got the nice Bitcoin picture right there, right? Oh, also, guys, don't forget that if you go into the handout section in the webinar, you can download a lot of these pictures. We've got a lot of pictures for you that you can use in your marketing. So what is an accredited investor? In this section, we will define what it means to be an accredited investor and why it matters. Then we'll compare the difference between a sophisticated investor and an accredited investor. Accredited investor definition. The Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, determines how an investor qualifies to be an accredited investor. At least one of the following must be met in order to be considered an accredited investor. So first, net worth. Have individual net worth or joint net worth with spouse that exceeds 1 million USD, excluding the value of primary residence. So let's say you have $1 million in the bank, guys, that doesn't count your residence, then you are an accredited investor in the eyes of the SEC. Individual income. Have individual income exceeding 200,000 USD in each of the past 2 years and expect to reach the same this year. So basically $200,000 in let's say your job, you're an engineer, you are an attorney, maybe you do marketing, you do sales, because a lot of sales people are accredited, guys. So $200,000 in individual income in each of the past 2 years, and obviously you expect to do the same this year. So joint income. So now when we talk about joint income, have a combined income with spouse exceeding 300,000 each of the past 2 years and expect to reach the same this year. So many of you guys that are married, because you and your wife make over 300,000 a year combined, that defines both of you as accredited investors. Business, invest on behalf of a business or investment company with more than 5 million assets, and or all the equity owners are accredited. So we have many people, guys, around the world that work for firms and they invest on behalf of businesses or investment groups. And so that also makes them accredited. So the significance of being an accredited investor. So why is it significant for an individual to be an accredited investor? Qualifying as an accredited investor opens up the opportunity to invest in asset classes such as cryptocurrency, real estate syndications, real estate crowdfunding, venture capital, and hedge funds. The SEC created the above criteria in an effort to protect new or inexperienced investors from buying into high-risk projects. Also, there's less risk of an accredited investor having insufficient fund reserves in the event of a loss. So what that means, guys, is, obviously, if you're making over $200,000 and you invest a portion of that, you have something to back that up, right? And many people that are not sophisticated or accredited, they might run into a financial situation, if they're investing their mortgage payment or whatever. So that's really what the SEC is trying to define. But it still, it does, there's a lot of people that are non-sophisticated that literally are just looking for opportunities to make money on their money. So this is why we put this together. So, all right, guys. And while the above criteria serve to protect non-accredited or lower net worth investors from potentially losing big on riskier projects, it also excludes them from access to greater opportunities. The idea is individuals who qualify as accredited investors have more money. They can stand to lose on higher risk projects. However, higher risk can also equal higher reward potential. So remember, guys, higher reward potential, you got to risk it to get the biscuit, basically, is what they're saying, right? Because if there's a higher risk, similar to like what Amazon was back in the tech boom, right? Amazon, Yahoo, Lucent Technologies, etc. Many of those companies lost 90 to 95% of their value. I mean, even Coca-Cola, when Coca-Cola stock first came out, Coca-Cola took a nice dip, but a lot of those people per capita are some of the wealthiest people in the world because they took a chance on a company called Coca-Cola back in the day. So now, when we talk about credit versus sophisticated investors, so sophisticated investor requirements, according to the SEC, must have enough knowledge and experience in business matters to evaluate the risk and merits of an investment. Sophisticated and accredited investors are often considered interchangeable. However, accredited is much more rigid. The SEC ranks an accredited investor higher than a sophisticated investor, although the SEC also states that sophisticated persons can lead accredited investors in the case of a trust, bank, nonprofit, or entity. The term sophisticated is considered more of a gray area than an accredited investor meeting set criterion. So now let's talk about part two if you're French. All right, so what is a non-accredited investor? The next obvious question would be, what is a non-accredited? In this section, we'll go over the definition of a non-accredited investor and if it's an advantage or a disadvantage. So a non-accredited investor definition, a non-accredited investor is anyone who does not meet the requirements of an accredited investor as defined by the SEC. Another term for non-accredited investor is a retail investor. This includes any investor whose net worth is less than 1 million and has income under 200,000 individually or 300,000 with a spouse. Now, being a non-accredited investor, most of the investing population is made up of non-accredited investors. This does not mean, however, that non-accredited individuals do not have the opportunity to invest in a vast number of different projects. It simply means that you have different opportunities available to you. Options for non-accredited investors include equity, certain types of bonds, real estate, etc. Obviously, before the SEC got really stringent on ICOs, many non-accredited investors were dealing with ICOs around the world. But now, because the U.S. considers all token securities, now you have to be really careful, right? So let's talk about part three. So let's talk a little more because, I want to educate my non-accredited ambassadors too, because look, guys, knowledge is power. I want you to understand there's still things out there that are going to be very beneficial to you in the future. And it all starts with getting the knowledge first, right? So real estate crowdfunding, syndications, and accreditations. Next, we'll break down the different types of real estate investments, including crowdfunding, syndications, and then find out when accreditation matters and when it's not required. So the definition of crowdfunding, and this is very popular now in 2019, guys. There's a boom in 2017, 2018 for crowdfunding, but literally many people are understanding that crowdfunding is a way to get many projects funded globally, not just in the domestic United States. So crowdfunding is basically raising smaller amounts of money for a project or investment from a large number of people, typically through the internet. There are different types of crowdfunding, including equity, real estate, and peer-to-peer, P2P lending. We'll go into more detail regarding these types of investments later on in this article. So the definition of a syndication. Let's talk about syndication. Oops, I went a little too far. All right, definition of syndication, often confused with a real estate investment trust, a REIT. A real estate syndication is when investors own an actual share of a property itself. With REITs, you are simply investing money into a trust that purchases real estate. Investors involved in a syndication are considered limited partners as there are general multiple parties involved. Now, syndications are set up using three key players: the key principal or sponsor, the property management group, and the investor. The key principal is leading the real estate project, locating the best markets to invest, and underwriting the property. The property management group is responsible for the day-to-day demands of the property, like handling tenants, tending to maintenance issues, and renovating units. And then, of course, the investor provides the funding to make the project happen. All of this is nice and cute, right? But without that money, they can't go and find, even though they're the sponsor and the company that's taking care of all the day-to-day, without the money, nothing can happen in this type of scenario. So now let's talk about why accreditation is often necessary with crowdfunding, especially with syndications. Traditionally, all crowdfunding, especially syndications, ventures required accredited investors as enforced by the SEC. Today, there are three different kinds of offerings for crowdfunding, two of which allow non-accredited investors. So on the other hand, syndications are a different story. More initial capital is required to participate. For example, a minimum $50,000 investment, whereas the select crowdfunding opportunities require a much lower investment, for instance, anywhere from 500 to 5,000 USD. This is because you're investing in real property, not just throwing your money into a pool. Do you have to be accredited? The short answer is no. There are plenty of options in real estate crowdfunding for non-accredited investors. However, the amount of money non-accredited individuals can invest is regulated, usually based on a percentage of your income or net worth. This is because these types of investors inherently come with greater risk, right? Those who qualify as accredited and sophisticated investors assume less risk than non-accredited. So now you see, guys, literally the reason why much of this paperwork was put in place by the SEC and regulatory commissions is because they don't want people getting scammed. Because they have more money and hopefully know how to protect themselves from bigger potential losses. So now in part 4, let's talk about investment options for accredited versus non-accredited investors. So opportunities for accredited investors. As mentioned previously, accredited investors have access to investments that are higher risk and higher reward. There are several different types of investments for those that qualify as accredited. There are also plenty of opportunities available if you are not accredited. Your interests, goals, and expertise will help determine which investments are best for you. They are investment opportunities. These, hold on. That way you can see this is on the fly today. These are investment opportunities for accredited investors. And so what I want to do is BlockSafe Technologies Inc. So there we go, guys. So you see, we just put BlockSafe Technology. So obviously we have real estate syndications, real estate crowdfunding, equity crowdfunding, venture capital, and then obviously STOs, starting with BlockSafe Technologies Inc. Voila. Venture capital and private equity funds, hedge funds, specialty investment funds. So opportunities for non-accredited investors. The good news is in 2012, the Jumpstart on Business Startups Act, which is JOBS, was passed to make it less difficult for small business startups to raise more capital and boost economic growth via job creation. In 2015, the SEC made it possible for non-accredited investors to participate in certain types of investments, like crowdfunding, that were previously only offered to accredited investors. More and more of these online crowdfunding platforms are popping up with much lower minimum investment requirements. Fundrise, Realty Mogul, Rich Uncles, etc. The following investment opportunities are available for non-accredited investors. And guys, these are very important because at the end of the day, I do have a lot of ambassadors asking about non-accredited type investments because they want to, make money on their money. So equity crowdfunding, pooling money into a startup in exchange for equity shares. Be aware that even if the startup is successful, investors won't see any return on investment until the company goes public. On average, it takes over 8 years for a company to go public. Real estate crowdfunding, options for real estate crowdfunding include two types, debt or equity. With debt, you're investing in a mortgage for a commercial property, earning a share of the interest on the loan as it's paid back. Equity means investors own a share of the actual property. Investors will receive a percentage of the rental income and a portion of gains upon sale of the property. This could include things like, guys, like, like on beaches, where people have like condominiums. Many people have equity in those types of real estate property. Real estate investment trusts, those are REITs. Peer-to-peer lending, P2P, for those who want to invest in individuals as opposed to companies or real estate. P2P lending raises money for personal loans, and the investor earns a return based on the interest on the loan. Startups and business financing, obviously bonds. Now, limits for non-accredited investors. In order to open up the opportunity for non-accredited investors to participate in crowdfunding, the SEC has set up some restrictions as a means of protection. These restrictions are based on the net worth and income as stated previously. So the following limits apply to non-accredited investors. Individuals with annual income or net worth below 100,000 can invest up to the greater of 2,000 or the lesser of 5% of income or net worth. Individuals whose income or net worth is more than 100,000 may invest up to 10% of their income or net worth, whichever is less, up to 100,000. So now, how to become an accredited investor in real estate? The first way to become an accredited investor is to simply earn a higher income. The old saying goes, you have to have money to make money, right? Well, this is true in many cases. There are ways to build wealth outside of ordinary income that we'll discuss below under how to qualify with low income. Additional ways to qualify: if you are married, use joint income with your spouse to meet the accredited investor requirements. Use your net worth instead of income, because many of you have been making money for years, guys. So I do run into a lot of people that are, they think that they're non-sophisticated when in reality they really are, because based on their net worth or their bank accounts. If you're a director, an executive officer, or general partner of a company, obviously you have to meet the SEC guidelines. Once an individual meets the accredited investor guidelines set by the SEC, the next step is to get verification. So verification, because, and I had this question today, because investment types like crowdfunding are now available to non-accredited investors, the SEC implemented a new rule, 506B, in 2013. All investors under Rule 506B offering must take reasonable efforts to be verified as accredited investors. There are 4 ways to verify accredited investors. Number 1, if an individual is a director, executive officer, or general partner of a company. Number 2, obtain a written letter from a registered broker, investment advisor, attorney, or CPA. All must be in good standing under laws and jurisdiction. Number 3, prove income exceeds the required amount using tax filings or pay stubs. And number 4, prove net worth exceeds required amount using credit reports, liabilities, and assets. Now, how to qualify with low income? Another way to become an accredited investor is building wealth through assets such as real estate. The great thing about real estate is that you don't have to make a lot of money to buy a distressed property in a lower income neighborhood. Taking out a loan for the mortgage, adding a few improvements, and filling the property with tenants can produce monthly cash flow. Now, in conclusion, any investment should be approached with careful planning and consideration. Whether you are an accredited or non-accredited investor, there are ample opportunities available to earn money through investing. Remember, even accredited investors had to start somewhere. If you are currently a non-accredited investor working to build wealth and become accredited, start investing small amounts of money in low-risk ventures. By doing so, you will gain a better understanding of how and where to invest your hard-earned money, and soon become a sophisticated or accredited investor. Now, one of our companies, guys, Tachyon Advisory, has a strong track record for finding and managing lucrative crypto STOs, oil, gas, real estate investment projects. So what I tell people, if you're interested in learning more about group investment opportunities for accredited investors, let us know, right? Because at the end of the day, we want to educate you, but also put you in contact with people around the world that are helping our non-accredited investors, our team members on other projects, to be able to find these projects and put money, obviously they do their own due diligence, right? They look at, like I said, look at all the filings. Just because we tell you, just because we're educating you, this doesn't constitute, investment advice. We still want you to talk to your lawyers, your accountants, anybody that handles your money, so that you can do the best possible thing for your family, which is obviously the diligence part, right? So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is the biggest question we've gotten this whole week and last week is, hey, my members that I have on my team, some of them don't know if they're accredited or not. Now you're going to have a document that's going to allow you to see if y'all are accredited or non-accredited. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it is now 2:46 p.m. Central Standard Time. We really do thank you and appreciate you for taking some quality time to spend with us. Before we let you go, does anybody have any questions about how the bonus program is going to work? Now you understand what accredited versus non-accredited means, so you can share this document with your people in the group or your teams around the world. Because many of you, like I have people in England that have team members in the United States, so they were also asking, hey, how do we find out if our team members are accredited or non-accredited? So let's see, recording, yes. Almost time for a team email, yes. Anthony's about to knock this out of the park. He's got people that are both accredited and non-accredited. And actually, today we learned that we had some members that were accredited based on net worth. So the beautiful thing is everybody's trying to take advantage of that 25% bonus. Once again, guys, if nobody has any questions, I'm going to let you go, because at the end of the day, what's going to happen is, now that you have these weapons in place, I'm going to upload this as fast as possible. I'll put the link in the group, but also get this document into the Google Drive so that you can use that document with your team members. Guys, take advantage of that 25% bonus, because at the end of the day, what's going to happen is, look, once we really get into the push for cryptocurrency adoption, digital currency, and blockchain adoption, guess who's going to benefit the most? The people that got in at the very beginning, that had timing, right? Similar to what happened with Amazon. I spoke of companies like Amazon, Yahoo, Lucent Technologies, Coca-Cola, right? A lot of those people that took a chance back when Coca-Cola first got started now are wealthy beyond numbers, right? Because they just saw a company that had some kind of value, had a product that the masses would be using, which obviously, many people drink Coca-Cola products around the world. But guys, people are going to need security on their wallets. People are going to need security on their exchanges and on their blockchains. And we are poised to be one of the best companies in the world to be able to provide that value for these companies for decades to come. So that being said, guys, thank you very much for your time. We will see you again on Saturday. Make sure you get your token packages in today, tomorrow, and before the 22nd is over. If you have any questions, make sure you're working with the admins in the Telegram group. Make sure that you're asking questions to the support team members, Sunny, Abdul, Shivani, Andy, Ray, anybody that can answer your question. They're in the group waiting for you. So guys, have a wonderful day. We really do appreciate you. Make sure you keep striving to get to the top of that mountain, and make sure you keep infecting people with your passion, because at the end of the day, this world was built on belief and passion. And if you believe in something, nobody can take that belief away from you, guys. We'll see you again on Saturday, guys. We love you. This webinar is now adjourned.